Imagine a product marketed as the savior of infants, a modern solution to malnutrition. Yet instead of saving lives, it became a silent killer. But how could a trusted household name like Nestlé, with its slogan "Good Food, Good Life," find itself at the center of such a devastating controversy? Nestlé's story began long before the scandal. Nestlé was founded in 1867 in Switzerland by a German man named Henri Nestlé. The company introduced its first product named farine lactée. According to Nestlé, it was manufactured by combining cow's milk, wheat flour, and sugar, a revolutionary infant food designed to save babies who couldn't be breastfed. Over decades, Nestlé built its reputation on quality and trust, becoming synonymous with nutrition and health. By the early 20th century, the company was a global powerhouse, touting its mission to improve lives worldwide. After a century of its humble beginning, in the 1970s, Nestlé sees an opportunity to expand into developing nations like India, and this is where things got terribly wrong. They gave away free samples to hospitals and clinics, using medical professionals to back their claims, positioning their product as a guaranteed way to ensure healthy infants. Advertisements showed happy, healthy mothers and infants, creating an illusion of safety and progress. For many struggling families, Nestlé's formula seemed like a miracle product. But what Nestlé didn't reveal was the hidden danger, where there is lack of access to refrigeration and where there is unsanitary conditions. These were the silent killers. The formula itself wasn't the problem. It was the environment in which it was used that would lead to the tragedy. The very markets that Nestlé was targeting often lacked the infrastructure to properly use formula. Access to clean water was limited, and sanitation standards were poor. Without clean water, formula became a breeding ground for dangerous bacteria. Without refrigeration, formula could spoil quickly, leading to severe health risks for infants. But the company just aggressively marketing its product without even looking once at the situation of the very people it was targeting. And unfortunately, this led one of the largest corporate scandals in history.
Protesters accused the company of acting irresponsibly.
Hundreds of people were reported ill within 3 days of warning.
The scandal in itself is not the issue. The issue is that it caused pain and suffering to thousands of people that can never be soothed. In rural areas where clean water was scarce and refrigeration was a luxury, the formula became a death sentence. Contaminated water mixed with formula led to severe illnesses. Some families tried to stretch their supply by watering it down, reducing its nutritional value and leading to malnutrition. Hospitals reported spikes in infant deaths from diarrhea, dehydration, and malnutrition, conditions that could have been avoided with breastfeeding or safe formula use. By 1977, the growing crisis caught the attention of the World Health Organization and UNICEF. Their investigations revealed a disturbing pattern. Nestlé's aggressive marketing in developing countries was fueling a public health disaster. Thousands of infants were dying each year due to improper formula feeding practices. As evidence mounted, protests erupted worldwide. Human rights organizations, church groups, and concerned citizens joined forces to launch the Nestlé boycott and distributed flyers exposing the company's unethical practices. Signs reading "Nestlé kills babies" became a rallying cry, and the boycott quickly gained global traction. Nestlé's response was defiant. The company denied wrongdoing, blaming infant deaths on poor healthcare infrastructure and lack of education in developing countries. But these arguments rang hollow as activists continued to expose the deadly consequences of their marketing practices. The backlash reached its peak when massive protests were held at Nestlé's headquarters in Switzerland. Around the world, activists demonstrated in front of supermarkets, urging consumers to boycott Nestlé products. Media coverage intensified, bringing the scandal into living rooms everywhere. Under mounting pressure, Nestlé was forced to make changes. The damage had already been done. Nestlé's reputation was irrevocably tarnished. The Nestlé Baby Formula Scandal remains a case study in corporate ethics and the consequences of prioritizing profit over people. Decades later, Nestlé continues to operate globally, but the shadow of its past actions lingers. lingers.